Hey guys, I'm Leslie Grace and I hope you're enjoying our little chat here on latingossip.com. My single right now is my second single. It's called Day One, and it's a single of my writing. It's my composition, and I co-wrote that song with a very good friend of mine, Israel Mercedes, Ray King for his artist name, and it was actually day one of us working together. So that's where the whole idea of generally what it was about. What it was going to be called came from because he wrote it on the computer and then he was like, what do you want to talk about? I was like, I guess day one. So we started, he made the beat in front of me and it was at its primitive stages then. But what we wrote was basically the first time you feel love, and what it was inspired by was the first time I felt God's love in its purest form. And for me, that same love is manifested. There's only one love, and that same love is manifested in between people and in all kinds of ways, between a husband and a wife, a boyfriend and a girlfriend, a best friend and a best friend, a newborn child and his mother, and to be able to see that manifested and people that have heard this song and people that listen to this song over and over, they're like, man, I've had a mom tweet me before and say, I dedicated this to my little boy because he stole my heart from the very first day. And that, that kind of makes me so passionate because I see how that message is reached, all across all across the board, in every different kind of love, in every single love. It's funny because I think back to the responsibilities and things that I had to do before, and just going to school and being a kid and having my responsibilities and the things that I would be involved in. But now I have all of those things plus the responsibilities that my career entails. So I wake up every day thinking in a new way that I used to before, which is new to me, but I'm learning how to balance it, especially since I'm still in school. So I'm learning how to balance both aspects of my life, and it's always something new every day. So I haven't really gotten used to it. My music is very much a reflection of who I am. I am a young girl. I'm 18 years old. I was born into a Dominican family. My parents are Dominican, and I was born in New York. Um, all my life, I grew up listening to Latin music and just absorbing everything that's typical in my culture and in the Dominican culture, things like merengue, salsa, bachata. All my life, I grew up in my home listening to that. But at the same time, living I grew up in Yonkers. I was born in the Bronx and was raised in Yonkers. I had American influences as well, things like R&B, like pop, like reggae, lots of genres that I latched on to what I had already been accustomed to in growing up in my home. So we have this thing called one-liners, and it's when we have a whole sound system in our house, and we karaoke together, and she does a line, I do a line, she does a line, I do a line. So we ended up calling it one-liners, but we record them on our computer, and she's always in the front and I'm like in the background doing some weird dance move, and she doesn't like notice until she plays back the video and she sees me doing like some stupid thing in the background. So most people don't know how quirky I am. Um, and it's funny. They'll see eventually, once I start doing, tours and stuff, but you'll be able to see it a little bit, but most people don't know how quirky and like weird I am. Sometime, maybe in the future, they'll probably leak those videos and they'll be very, 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 very embarrassing. The one thing about me and about my character that I'm molding now is being able to manage my time and like prioritize and organize myself. For me, organization is like my one soft spot. And that happens to me like in everything. My friends get on my back because I'll like start writing them a text, this is like the thing that had everybody, even before I was busy and everything. They're like, man, yo, you never text anybody back. Like, can you text? And then I'll be like, what do you mean? I texted you back. Like, what are you talking about? And I'll show them my phone, and I'll go, and I'm like, oh. And then I'll show them my phone, and the text message is like half written. Because my mind is trying to manage so many things at the same time. And my mind is just weird. Like, I don't know how to, I have to learn how to prioritize things and make sure that I manage my time correctly and put it into the right things at the right times. So that for me is like one of the things that I know other like young people can relate to me about that, because we're all over the place sometimes, like all over the place. I'm telling you, it's horrible. Like, I'll write it, and then somebody will ask me something, and I'll lay my phone down, and I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna get back to you in a moment. And then I'll do something else, and then I'll say the message in my head and think that I literally pressed send and I sent it to them, and like, because I said it in my head, it's the mind my mind already completed the message. So in my head, it's already gone. Like, it's already sent and received and delivered. They've already read it. No, they haven't at all, because I haven't even finished writing the text message. I definitely would love to dab into dibble dabble into the acting world, into lots of things that have to do with the arts, and some modeling. I've known modeling all my life because my sister, she just has trained me in every aspect. So I definitely love the wide spectrum of the entertainment business, and I love to dibble dabble into all of it. Oh man, you're pointing them all out. Mis padres siempre me han dicho esto, que cuando uno puede hablar los dos idiomas, and you've been blessed with that, tú vales por dos. Like, you count for two people. So, para mí, yo siempre lo he tomado en cuenta, que esta generación a la cual yo le hablo siempre se siente como que porque viven aquí, su cultura que es su cultura, que han crecido con esa cultura, con esas raíces, se sienten como que es una cajita que lo está encerrando, que no pueden moverse más de ahí. Y para mí, yo lo tomo como un regalo, como una bendición, porque por eso yo puedo identificarme con más personas, puedo hablar dos idiomas, yo valgo por dos, y a la vez puedo hablarle a un público que también es así, como mi generación, que vive aquí, pero tiene una cultura de otro lugar. Y mis padres siempre me han dicho, nunca deje tus raíces. En todo lo que haces, todo el mundo quiere saber lo que te hace única, lo que te hace diferente de una persona, de otra persona. Y para mí eso es mi cultura. Y poder tomar esas influencias que yo tengo americanas y mezclarlas con mis raíces que me han dado mis padres es una bendición, porque me hace diferente. So, like, I feel like it's not a burden. It's really, really a gift when you can use both and make them your own. Lots of people feel like that's not my culture. That's my parents' culture. Like, I wasn't born there, so I was born here. I'm American. Yes, you are American, but your blood and everything that your parents have raised you with is from that culture. So it doesn't take away from you being American, and you being American doesn't take away from you being Latino or whatever other culture you are. You can be both.